They can't overlook the Rays.
No.
But I think those 4 games coming up against the Red Sox are, considering what the Red Sox have done to them last year and that they're both competing against each other. And by the way, if you end up in a wild card 3-game playoff series, go look at the Red Sox record at home over the last 2 months. The last thing you're going to want to do is play those 3 games in Fenway if it's Yankees and Boston. And so the Yankees have a lot to do this week. Finish off this period. They got an off day on Monday.
Yep.
Take care of business in your home again, away from home at Steinbrenner Field. And then the Yankees and Red Sox haven't had a lot of juice the last few years, considering what it's been. I feel like those 4 games should have some juice. They have a lot of meaning for the Yankees. The Red Sox kind of built their way back into this race by beating the hell out of the Yankees in a couple of series already this year. And, are the Yankees ready to make a stand against an AL East team in general and the Red Sox in specific?
Yeah, I mean, and they embarrassed the Yankees. And they've had a history of embarrassing the Yankees recently. Even though, like you said, the rivalry hasn't been what it used to be, it feels like every time, Joel, the Yankees face the Red Sox it's just become the Red Sox are playing baseball smarter than us. They're attacking and stolen bases. They're catching guys who are sleeping. It's not been pretty for the Yanks, it feels like, against the Red Sox and the history that they've had recently. So I'm looking forward to that series. But like you said, you got to take care of business against the Rays first. The Rays are no slouch. I know they're not having a season that they would like, and they do the whole buy sell at the deadline, and now it's just a matter of where they finish the rest of the year. But it's another home. It's like another home game for them again in Tampa. And they're not facing 2 slouch pitchers either, Rasmussen and Baz coming up here in the next 2. But Joel, for you, the Yankees took care of business, but I'm wondering, are you buying into what their performance was this past week? Like the offense seemed to perform a lot better this past week, and specifically putting the ball in play, I think, was a big thing for them these last couple of days. It wasn't just the homers like it was in the Minnesota series. I think the Cardinals series, they were willing to put the ball in play more. Are you buying into this team maybe turning it around here, or it was them playing 2 really bad opponents and they took advantage of playing those bad opponents?
Well, not only bad opponents, but I feels like the Yankees could bring up Scranton Wilkes-Barre and beat the Twins. That's just the history of that rivalry. If the Red Sox get under the Yankees' skin, the Yankees certainly get under the Twins' skin, and usually take care of business against them, and did again by taking 2 or 3. Look, Ryan, it's almost like the way the Yankees ran the bases and took advantage of 90 feet
Mm-hmm.
against, over the weekend against the Cardinals, but even, in this period of time, it almost harkens back. And I know Caballero helps change a dynamic a little bit, but why did they forget to steal bases for like 2 months? It's like, it's, it's like, does anybody stand up in the meeting ever and say, you know, Jazz Chisholm hasn't tried a stolen base in 2 months, or we're not running I just feels like, how can you show what they showed over the weekend? And I know the Yankee thing is they don't like they are a play the odds stolen base team, which is if you're slow to the plate or slow catch or release to second base, and they're playing and you get this kind of lead and this kind of jump, your chances of success become this. And I get it. I get it. I get it. You want to, when you have home run hitters in your lineup, you don't want to create outs on the bases.
Yeah.
But I I know there's something we've talked about, and I want to try to put it in words because I've thought about it a lot. I think I kind of maybe got on it last week. I think when you're a team that sits around and waits for walks and homers, which are incredibly valuable, let's not run away from it. The getting on base with a free pass and certainly hitting it over the fence are incredibly valuable things that you do not want to give up as a team. But they are, in a way, a walk for sure and a home run to some degree are kind of like passive wait for it acts.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, if you're not getting them, there's a lot of innings that are 1, 2, 3, move it along, 1, 2, 3, move it along. And it's passivity. And like, I would not play the game of Aaron Judge is up, I'm never trying a stolen base. Giancarlo Stanton's up, I'm never trying a stolen base. to me, stay aggressive because it's part of a sharp, stay in the game thing, which, we talk about the Yankees playing poorly, baseball poorly. And I think part of it is if you have this kind of passive attitude
It
of
carries over.
it carries over in everything you do instead of like being alert. And I would point out that they broke the game open in the top of the ninth yesterday with 4 runs, and
Yep.
it begins with Jose Caballero simply running hard. The Cardinals second baseman showed all
Sajazi.
weekend
Oof.
that guy is a terrible second baseman. And that's hey, if the ball gets hit to that guy, like if you should be running hard all the time.
Yeah.
But certainly run hard, put pressure on that guy. That guy does not want, that's like the little leaguer playing right field. That guy doesn't want the ball hit to him. And he showed it all weekend. And to me, the Caballero thing should encourage the team. Look at what can happen. It happens to you guys. It happens to, like the Yankees should say, it happens to us. Let's do it to somebody else. And they did it to the Cardinals over the weekend, where their aggression, they're adding 90 feet,
Yeah.
really was beneficial to sweeping a series. And, I went and looked. I think the Yankees pretty much could have a goal, and there's only September left. They should have 25 months every month, at least 25 homers, at least 25 steals. They're well on their way to doing that this month, in August. And that should be a goal, is just have a 25. Sometimes it'll be 32, 26, whatever it is. Like that's something that should be part of their mindset. Because if you just sit around and wait for walks and homers, a passivity comes into your whole spirit as a team that plays on both sides of the ball poorly.
It's a good remark, and I think thought from you about the passivity and how it carries over into the rest of the team, because you feel that as a fan when you're watching it as well. Like, at least for me, I know you're watching it up in the booth or up in the press box, but
Ryan, can I jump in and say
yeah.
this is, I recognized it watching the Brewers and Mets play a series and the Brewers sweep the Mets, where I'm watching the Brewers and I'm like, the way they play, their aggressiveness shows up on both sides of the ball, that they're so heightened alert, 90 feet, 90 feet, 90 feet, 90 feet, 90 feet, that it matters. And now that covers up. They don't hit a ton of homers, though they hit a bunch of timely homers against the Mets in that series. But it covered up a lot of other things. And I just think it's the spirit and culture of that team to be alert to every 90 feet. And therefore, by doing it on offense, it translates to defense. Like, we're trying to stop their 90 feet. We understand how important it is. But if you're just standing around going, well, I guess maybe Grisham or Rice will walk in front of Judge, and then there'll be a home run, and that will be a run or two. And what time is it? Is it the third inning yet? I think it kind of fills your spirit of who you are as a team. And I don't think the Yankees are a home run hitting team and need home runs to win. But because there's a home run hitter at almost all 9 of their lineup spots, and some of the greatest in the history of the game in Judge and Stanton in particular, I would not even be Judge and Stanton are up, don't run. I'd be, if you think you could get 90 feet, take 90 feet. Hey, open first base. They want to walk Stanton or walk Judge and get to Bellinger or Goldschmidt. Like, we'll take a shot with more base runners.
Yeah, and Bellinger will put the ball in play. He'll make sure to do that.
Stay sharp.
Yeah.
Stay sharp. Force the other team is always forcing you to play baseball. Force the other team. You see, the Yankees are not the only team that plays baseball poorly around the sport. This is epidemic. I watch a lot of baseball that is not New York, and you will see a lot of it played poorly. We end up talking about the Yankees and Mets a lot in our newspaper and on our website, and the Yankees specifically here. And I hold the Yankees to a high grade because they're the Yankees. They have the best history in the history of the sport. They have a very high payroll. They at least tell us it's kind of championship or bust every year. And so therefore, we're not scoring on a curve like, wow, the White Sox played a little better now. The Yankees need to play great. They're trying to get a parade. They haven't had a parade since 2009. And their standard is their internal standard really good where they're holding each other accountable to a parade. Because like, yeah, they could like it's what Aaron Boone says a lot, where he'll say, like, well, actually our base running compared to the league. Screw the league. Is your base running acceptable to you and what your standard should be? Don't tell me about like, hey, league average. The league sucks. Everybody is doing it. Everybody's over concentrating on things. I kind of think if you go, I encourage people, go back and read Moneyball. Moneyball at its core, people will say Moneyball is about on base percentage. It's not about on base percentage. It's finding the inefficiencies in the game. That was on base percentage in the early 2000s. Like Billy Beane and that group appreciated, oh, people are still paying for batting average. We can't afford batting average. We could afford the guy who walks a lot and gets on base, and we could show that if you're on base a lot, it increases your scoring. The Brewers have found the inefficiency in the game. The inefficiency in the game is playing baseball well and honoring every 90 feet and understanding 490 feet is 360 is a run. And if you could stop other people from getting 90 for free and you get 90 for free, what does that mean on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis? And like the Yankees should hold themselves to that standard because we saw over the weekend that when they push the game a little bit, there's a kind of thing, right?
There's something there. If you're like, wow, they're being aggressive on the base pass. Wow, they're actually jumping on the team. And whether it's a lesser opponent doesn't matter. It's just like you said, Joel. You're in tune. You're being aggressive. You're being there and finding the weaknesses and saying we can take advantage of this, because that was the other thing that you started off this whole conversation about. Why haven't they been stealing bases for a while now? They have the athletes now with Caballero, with Jazz Chisholm, with Jason Dominguez. Guys can steal bases in this lineup. They have enough athleticism now. Because that was something that, as a fan, Joel, and something I think you've spoken about a lot in recent years, the Yankees lineup lacked athleticism. It lacked speed. It lacked that it was too much to a point where they were so home run, walk, or bust. There was no athleticism. There was no, hey, we're going to be aggressive on the base pass. Hey, we're going to be smart and putting the ball in play. That was lacking. And now it seems like if you can do it more, and like you said, stop being so passive about we're above average. You know, it's like, no. Just be aggressive and be smart and be
feel the game. Watch the game here. Like, when's the last time the Yankees, I'll do this as quick. When's the last time the Yankees scored 4 runs like this? Caballero reaches on a throwing error. Trent Grisham grounds out to first. Giancarlo Stanton walks. Jojo Romero intentionally walks Judge. Cody Bellinger reaches on a fielder's choice. Jazz Chisholm grounds into a force out. Jazz Chisholm steals second base. Paul Goldschmidt doubles the 1 ball out of the infield in the whole inning. Jason Dominguez grounds out softly. That was 4 runs. No home runs. That was force a mistake, use the stolen base, couple of force outs creating runs. The dynamic hitters in the middle of their lineup. Stanton was kind of an intentional walk. Judge was unintentional. They want to put a guy on base, then put the ball in play, force a team that's a losing team to play the ball. Like I didn't understand the playing the defense back against was it Jazz, where it was clearly like if he was going to hit a ground ball, you're not turning a double play on anything but a 1-hop bullet against Jazz Chisholm. So like you need to bring your infield in. If the other team's going to make mistakes, capitalize on it.
Yeah. And it puts pressure on the opposing team.
That was a 4-run inning. Usually a Yankee 4-run inning involves a homer.
Yeah. Yep.
And this involved the other team playing baseball poorly and you pushing the issue. And I would be like the Red Sox. So to me, there's a Houston corollary. The Astros really get underneath their skin, and Alex Cora, who kind of was the Astros bench coach, gets under the Yankees' skin.
Absolutely.
The Yankees should try to get underneath the Red Sox skin. Now, that's tougher. Carlos Narvaez, who the Yankees traded, is probably the best guy in the league throwing out runners. So it's a more dangerous game. But I would make sure that I'm heightened for short pass balls, for where can I go first to third, etc. Don't let the Red Sox become the aggressor, especially in your own building, because you know that Cora is going to push it again, especially against Rice and Wells, who can't throw. So anybody who can run is going to run. against the Yankees because Cora could feel the game. He's going to feel the game, which is, I know I get under the Yankees' skin. He knows it. And he's going to do that as quickly as he can. What are you going to do to counter it?
And he knows that the Yankees are going to be focused on it too, and he's still going to test it, right? Like
Of course.
that's just who he is. Like, and to your point, I hope the Yankees are just as aggressive. Like, I understand Narvaez is one of the strongest arms, but take risks, be aggressive. Like you're at the point in the season and where you've put yourself, you have to. Like there's nothing else there. There's no waiting for the Walker home run in terms of this season, if that makes sense, Joel. Like you are now have to play small ball when you can, take advantage of the other team making mistakes, and capitalize on them.